Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Reverend Dr. Ainello from the North Isle Wellness Center of Hope. Today is another discussion on weight loss that we're doing for summer. We're going to talk a little bit about carbohydrate, proteins, and fats, what ratios to use, how to get yourself into a metabolic burn, how to start kind of turning back that sluggish metabolism that won't move. So one way I like to look at this is without doing any kind of laboratory testing, finding out what's going on with your metabolism. If you want to just start taking care of yourselves, let me give you a quick rule that you can follow to figure out how many calories to consume per day, how many percentages of carbs, proteins, and fats. So there is a rule that we use when we look at the body on a macronutrient perspective. The rule of thumb is this: if you're a man and you want to know how many calories you should eat per day, you should take your body weight, multiply it by 11, and you get a value. Then you take that value and you multiply that by 0.3 and you get a second value. So the first value plus the second value ends up being the number of calories per day for a guy. Women, it's the same thing. It's the weight you want to be times 10 is the first value. Then you take that number and multiply it by 0.3, and that's the second value. Add those values together, and that's the ideal caloric intake for women to maintain whatever weight they want to be. Just plug in the numbers and you'll get a number. So now you have a number, right? And let's say I have an example here on a piece of paper I'm looking at. We'll say for a man that wants to be 180 pounds, 180 times 11 is 1980. 1980 times 0.3 is 594. 1980 plus 594 is 2,574 calories per day for a man to maintain a 180 pound weight. From there, if you want to create that in your body and you want to eat on a very balanced way, you would eat 40% protein, 30% carbs, 30% fat, just to kind of see how your body metabolizes that. So you do the mathematics and you take the number of calories and you multiply it by 0.4, and that's your number of protein calories per day. Then you do the same thing and you multiply by 0.3 and 0.3, and that's fat and carb calories for the day. Now you're going to say, well, what about the grams? How many grams do I eat of this stuff? So when you want to know how many grams is in a number of calories, and you're looking at proteins and carbs, divide those numbers by 4. There's 4 calories in each gram of protein and carbs. But fats, in a gram of fat, there's 9 calories. That's why you have to be careful with how many grams of fat you're eating when you eat fat. So when you do all the mathematics, and I know this is very quick and thrown at you fast, but if you replay this video, you'll be able to figure out what I said. You get a working number of grams per day of carbs, fats, and proteins, and you get a working number of calories of grams, fat, and proteins, and that's a starting point. And if I tell you, when I sit with people that go to the gym 5 days a week, are eating good quality food, all organic, non-GMO, but they don't know what their ratios are, and they can't lose an ounce of weight, when I look at them using this system and groove it in, men and women, all of a sudden they start losing weight. And I'll just give you some quick examples that come to mind. Before I started tracking my fat calories, I would go home for lunch, make a grilled chicken Caesar salad. I would reach into my cupboard, I'd pull out extra virgin olive oil from Italy that was brought home for me by a patient as a gift that I know is awesome olive oil. And I open up the bottle and I go like this. And my wife from across the room sees me pouring this stuff on liberally. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "What? I'm having a healthy lunch." She goes, "Do you know how many calories you just poured on your salad? Do you know how many grams?" You ate 3 days of fat grams in one serving of food. She goes, "You're going to be gaining weight the next 3 days." I said, "Get out of here." She goes, "A serving of olive oil is a teaspoon. When you take out a measuring teaspoon and you put in the amount of a serving of olive oil," I was probably doing 10 to 15 times the natural circle because I was going like this. Another quick example. You're a pasta fiend. Now, where I grew up in Brooklyn, you didn't measure anything. Your mother put a pot in front of you and she goes, "Eat until you're full." And that's how I learned how to eat pasta. So you never get full from pasta. So I'm sitting there shoveling in pasta. If you want to eat a serving of penny vodka, it says it right on the package, it's 17 pieces of penny vodka. Penny vodka pasta. Like the penny vodka sauce and the penny pasta that makes up the penny vodka sauce. 17 pieces of penny pasta is a serving. It's literally as big as my glass right here. Now, if you look at that, you go, why would I even bother wasting 60 grams of carbs on this when I could have literally a bowl full of salad that's this size? Once you start understanding how carbs, fats, and proteins works and caloric content and servings, you'll be very concerned about what you do to make choices. So what we did to solve this problem for our patients, I'll just give you an example. We listed all the foods. We know the grams of every food of carbs, fats, and protein. So when people come in and they need a diet, guys, we have the numbers. So we help them pick the foods they're gonna eat to eat within their numeric calculation so they can make their body transform into whatever size they want. So that's the carb, fat, and protein story in a nutshell. Very involved, I know a little bit wordy, but that's how the system works. And this works in the figure bodybuilding. We work with 3 figure bodybuilders in here, women, and we put them on these programs and they get show ready using this protocol. And they can compete with any women of any age and win shows. So this works. So why don't you think about what I said, go over the video again. If you have any questions, send us a shout at our YouTube channel. Danielle will bring you the question, I'll answer it for you. Or you can even call our office or throw us an email. Our phone number is 631-476-4051. And our email is northislewellness@gmail.com. And our website is niwcenterofhope.org. Talk to you next time, guys. Have a great day.